Final chapter 52, Happily Ever After. But the question you wanted answered, I know. Did they live happily ever after? Yes and no. What of Roscaro? Did he live happily ever after? Well, the Princess P gave him free access to the upstairs of the castle, and he was allowed to go back and forth from the darkness of the dungeon to the light of the upstairs. But alas, he never really belonged in either place. The sad fate, I'm afraid, of those whose hearts break and then mend in crooked ways. But the rat, in seeking forgiveness, did manage to shed some small light, some happiness, into another life. How? Roscaro, reader, told the princess about the prisoner who had once owned a red tablecloth, and the princess saw to it that the prisoner was released. And Roscaro led the man up out of the dungeon and to his daughter, Midgery. Midge, as you might have guessed, did not get to be a princess, but her father, to atone for what he had done, treated her like one for the rest of his days. And what of Despero? Did he live happily ever after? Well, he didn't marry the princess, if this is what you mean by happily ever after. Even in a world as strange as this one, a mouse and a princess, of course, could not marry. But reader, they can be beautiful friends. And they were. Together they had many adventures. Those adventures, however, are another story, and this story, I'm afraid, must now draw to a close. But before you leave, reader, imagine this. Imagine an adoring king and a glowing princess, a serving girl with a crown on her head and a rat with a spoon on his, all gathered around a table in a banquet hall. In the middle of the table, there's a great kettle of soup. Sitting in the place of honor, right next to the princess, is a very small mouse with big ears. And peeking out from behind a dusty velvet curtain, looking in amazement at the scene before them, are 4 other mice. Mon Dieu, look, look, says Antoinette. He lives, and he seems such a happy mouse. Forgiven, whispers Lester. Cripes, says Furlow. Unbelievable. Just so, says the Threadmaster Hovis, smiling. Just so. And reader, it is just so, isn't it? The end. There's a little thing, it's not a chapter, but it's a little closing in the back of the book that the author gives us, and it says this. Do you remember when Despero was in the dungeon, cupped in Gregory the jailer's hand, whispering a story in the old man's ear? I would like it very much if you thought of me as a mouse telling you a story, this story, with the whole of my heart, whispering it in your ear in order to save myself from the darkness and to save you from the darkness too. Stories are light, Gregory the jailer told Despero. And reader, I hope you have found some light here. Such a good book, wasn't it? Such a good book. So many great lessons that we learned as we read, I think almost 300 pages, The Tale of Despero. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and enjoyed the ending. I know we enjoyed it at school, and I'm glad that I'm able to bring it to you, and I hope everyone's able to watch it. If not, when we return back to school, I'll have it on our Google Classroom as a link as well. So, Tale of Despero.